Today I would like to talk about a practical experience of building an alternative to centralized exchanges, and our experience in doing this, which actually felt a lot like a never-ending fight for liquidity. And I would like to take us on this journey and show how we are planning to end this battle. But let me begin by describing several problems that currently exist with the decentralized trading and exchange products. So number one is liquidity fragmentation, liquidity being scattered across many different chains and venues. That leads to a worse price execution and general complexity to the end user. And for a single asset representation, it can be breached from many different sources, and this also ends up an additional layer of complexity to the end trader. There is also a lack of a comprehensive portfolio management experience and the ability to connect all wallets in one app. Gas management is challenging. You need to know various low-level details depending on the chain you are interacting with. Most actions require a signature that only complicates the UX even more. And how do I know this? Well, for the past 3 years, I've been contributing to building Osmosis, which is the leading DEX in the Cosmos ecosystem. And we've interviewed hundreds of users and surveyed thousands. And those were the key pain points summarized. But let's also chat about what Osmosis is. So it's a DEX built as an blockchain, leveraging Cosmos SDK and Tendermint consensus. It is built with the upchain thesis in mind. When I was just beginning my journey, there was a meaningful debate between upchains versus building on an L1 directly, for example, Ethereum. To summarize the trade-off with the upchains, you have the control of the entire stack, so you are able to customize any part from the consensus layer to the application and tailor it to the need of your app specifically. While building on an L1, you may be constrained by competition with other applications. So looking back, I truly think that upchains had all their time and allowed us to implement a lot of interesting mechanisms that we are seeing competitions only starting to implement today. In one of the previous presentations, we talked about how block time affects LP losses, and we've been thinking about that as well. As a concrete example, our block time used to be like 6 seconds, now it's 1.3. But by controlling the stack end-to-end in such a way, we're able to focus on solving problems that are actually necessary for the end application user experience. But in the example of lowering block time, this also contributes to a better trading UX. The swap and trading feels near instant to an eye. And we are this way getting closer to offering a near centralized exchange-like experience with instantaneous trading. Additionally, Tendermint consensus has fast finality and only contributing to this benefit. We also built functionalities such as smart accounts and that allow implementing one-click trading. So essentially, we allow the user to authorize a certain allowance of the value to be traded without requiring a signature for every intermediary step. But you know, might be wondering if upchains are so great, why, what is even the problem, and why I'm here? And what we've been realizing is that there is a vicious cycle and competition for liquidity, where liquidity is volume. Volume comes from traders who need apps and good price execution that only comes from liquidity. So we ended up breaking down the exchange as a product into different layers. And I would like to note that a centralized exchange has all three. So when you go into a centralized exchange as an app like Binance, all assets are already there, and routing is pretty streamlined. And there's no need for dealing with complex asset variants. But in the context of us, Osmosis, as a decentralized exchange, we've been operating on the liquidity layer constrained by these wars. So we started thinking about routing and how on every chain you might need one. For example, in Solana, there can be different dexes, and you aggregate across them, but then you can go a level of abstraction higher and aggregate across different chains as well. So we decided to build a truly one-stop experience with our new product called Polaris that allows to trade any token on any chain in one app, and also abstract away the complex portfolio management that we've heard people bringing up to us. For example, in this app, you can come and connect any wallet that you like for any ecosystem. We're also implementing ways for essentially connecting different different accounts of the same wallet, and ultimately breaking up those prior pains and taking this trading experience closer to centralized exchanges. But we also do not discriminate with our routing product, which aggregates across all major dexes and chains to find the best path and execution while abstracting away the asset complexity. There is also a strong synergy and a one-of-a-kind product that is built at the connection of Osmosis and Polaris. Osmosis, being an upchain, can benefit from more volume. For example, if you want to take or swap from Cosmos and go to Bitcoin, we route through Osmosis DEX, and it ends up benefiting from more traffic. At the same time, by integrating more bridges into Osmosis and turning it into a hub, we are able to improve the route quality within Polaris and also lower the latencies for executing a swap. For example, on this route, you can see that we're starting on Osmosis, but then going to Cosmos Hub and Tor chain to RF to Bitcoin. We're currently working with to bridge that gap and be able to deposit withdraw directly onto Bitcoin chain. But all of that also allows for novel incentivization mechanisms and partnerships. For example, if we are to implement a direct bridge through Nomic, Nomic is a separate upchain that acts as a bridge to Bitcoin, and they already have a taker fee share agreement with liquidity pools on Osmosis. So far, what I've described and how Polaris solves the problems I've outlined in the beginning. We discussed solving the liquidity fragmentation by going a level of abstraction higher, where now we do not need to fight the same fight anymore. And at the same time, what we haven't discussed yet is the problem around gas management and maintenance signature for most actions. Let's again take a look at this route. And here there's an intermediary step on the Cosmos hub before reaching Bitcoin. So as the end user, by default, you may need to reason about having a feeding unbalance, which is atom on Cosmos hub, to be able to complete your swap without issues. And in the current experience, people have to bridge manually to ensure that they have sufficient value and complete their interaction. But also any competing product, you essentially need to start the trade and then wait for your swap to reach the intermediary chain, at which point there is a strong need for, necessity for another signature. So to complete the trade, you end up having the browser tab open beginning to end. And in our architecture, we introduced a solution to that, which we call Gas Station, which is a service that is deployed on all chains that are supported, and we monitor and watch transactions on the source chain. Once a specific kind of a transaction arrives that is submitted by the user, we end up triggering the services on the intermediary and destination chains to make sure that all of the gas and P requirements are funded. Additionally, to eliminate the need for having to manually sign all intermediary steps, we've introduced a system called Autopilot. And it is deployed in several phases. Phase one is having in-browser hotkeys, is what we call it, but essentially those are in-browser wallets on every supported chain. And we end up delegating the trade to those hotkeys that execute the route on users' behalf. It still remains to be non-custodial because we never actually end up holding the funds ourselves, and the in-browser hotkeys maintain the value until the swap's completion. In the next phase, which we are about to release, is we are going to leverage a multi-party computation protocol, LEAD, to enable the same experience, but by delegating this route execution to an MPC account via lead action, and continue benefiting from this non-custodial experience. But now by delegating it to lead, we do not require the user to have the browser open during the duration of the swap anymore. And this unlocks developing more applications, such as a truly mobile experience. So far, with Polaris, I've talked about solving the problems we know of today. And at the same time, we're also actively thinking about what are the next phases that people will care after these user experience challenges that prevent us from bridging the gap between with centralized exchanges. And a similar problem to that is privacy. So for instance, today, by trading on a decentralized exchange, you end up leaking your intentions as well as portfolio. So I would like to refer anyone interested to the stock that was shared earlier this week by our co-founder, Dave. I would like to end with the note that we need a truly decentralized, non-custodial permissionless solution. And with Polaris, we are hopeful that we are starting to bridge that gap. And I hope you found our experience between of starting at the liquidity layer and moving one layer of the stack higher interesting. So thank you for listening to my presentation. All right, thank you, Roman. I think we have some time for one question, because it took less than 20 minutes. Yeah.
Could you explain a bit more about how the autopilot works?
Yeah, for sure. So, autopilot. Let me open up the slide. Yeah, autopilot, essentially, if we are to discuss the problem that it is meant to solve, is that right now, to complete the trade, we need to have signatures at intermediary phases. And let's say our swap route goes through Bitcoin. Bitcoin might need several confirmations for transaction to finalize. And then that ends up contributing to the need for users to wait with the browser open. So with the autopilot, we are trying to eliminate the need for additional signature on these intermediate phases. So what we do is, in the initial version, we have in-browser wallets. So essentially, we can even look at this probably right now. One moment. There are in-browser wallets where, if we look at the local storage, we will see that there are mnemonics. And I apologize for turning this into a bit more practical. Local storage. Yeah, you can see here that I have a key that is associated with my wallet, and essentially a mnemonic that we send the funds to. And this wallet ends up executing the route on user's behalf. As a result, there is no need to do any additional manual action. So the user can just leave the browser and come back in 1 hour, which is approximately how long we need for a Bitcoin route to complete. So this is the initial version. And in the next one, we are going to replace the system with lead protocol, which is a separate chain, but allows to execute certain actions based on predefined conditions. So once a condition is met, they are able to execute that transaction on user's behalf. So we'll delegate the route completion and route execution to lead protocol. In that case, we don't even need to have the browser open anymore, and can close the tab, can close the app completely. And this also unblocks the ability to build a mobile app, because right now, with the current architecture and design, this is not possible. And with the lead protocol, we can go into that direction as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.